This is the next step of the Delage restoration. This step involves fitting the trunk lid to the trunk floor, also a very unique latch, you got to check that out. It also has to match the quarter panels on the sides in preparation to install the rear fenders. It all has to work together. Now we have to trial fit the rear quarter panel here. It has to fit on top of the metal there, and it's going to get nailed into the wood. It also gets nailed through here and underneath. So when the trunk lid is closed, we need a 1/4 inch gap down here. We also need all the points to join together. Then the fender comes up top and has to work with all that as well. Fairly tricky. The weather strip has to be installed because it's going to change that gap. We want a 1/4 inch gap all the way around the trunk lid. I have it on the sides now, but it took a lot of manipulating of this floor, moving up and down. Lots of screw around, and every time I moved the floor, I had to move all the wood. Anyways, I have it all lining up now. We'll put the correct screws in later. I'll weld that later. So we had to put the weather strip to make sure the trunk lid's going to fit. Now I have a latch here that turns with a T-handle up top. So when you close it, you do it there, and then you're going to latch it in. But there's no hook. Most trunk lids have a hook to hook into a pin down on the bottom. Put some Play-Doh in to mark where the latch goes. It goes all the way over here. It's 1 inch across. So now I know it's going to end up sitting offset here in the groove. I had to make pipe spacers over top of the screws to the exact length to hold this out so it holds the right pressure on the trunk lid, and so there's no wiggle. It can't even move 1/8. And it still has to work without heaving and hoeing. It took quite a bit to get going, but it works. Here's where it latches to the trunk floor. That's where the tab comes down off of the upper latch, and it comes in from the side as you turn the handle, and it's a press fit based on the angle of the trunk lid and the angle of the trunk floor. So when the latch is in there, it can't move up or down. Quite ingenious, actually. I never saw one without a hook. And they have different plates you can put inside here to shim it, that way as well. I kept what they had. By the time I got it all to work properly and the latch to work the way it should, I had to bring the trunk floor actually another inch up, believe it or not. And because of that, I had to remove all the wood and realign all that as well. Both sides. Quite a bit of work. Now I can fit the top of the trunk lid at the hinge area because it latches. I ground out the trunk lid across the top. It's definitely too narrow of a gap there. I'll have to figure that out. This panel here, along here on the inside, is rusted where it's nailed to the wood behind it. I'll have to check that. There's also some lead in here and along here, which has to be taken out for previous damage, and you can see there's a bit of a buckle under the hinge here. I'm going to have to make gaskets. There should be a rubber gasket under the hinges. So I'm going to have to create those as well, because that could affect the distance of the gap. Please follow and subscribe for part 2 of the Delage trunk lid and rear upper panel restoration.